I'm just trying to see if we had anything else that updated that on there. It looks like everything is still a little bit behind on that one. So, but I didn't see anything else on that. Let's move right on into some other news here that is going on. According to TASS, Russian news agency, they are reporting that Ukraine troops, that is Kiev's troops, Western Ukraine, are shelling the neighborhoods in and around the Donetsk region there, once again, using heavy tank shells and artillery in the area, and they're just really coming under a heavy bombardment. Kiev forces have violated the ceasefire regimen 6 times in Luhansk, according to Luhansk militia that is there. And the fighting just continually spreads out of control in Ukraine. And I can only imagine it's a matter of time before this fight may envelop Europe. And this is one reason why the U.S. has a lot of their own troops there, provoking President Putin nonetheless. You know, and I actually saw something that I thought was very interesting recently, a video that was documenting about Babylon, and of course they refer to the United States as being Babylon. Now, I have always agreed that in principle, the U.S. does represent Babylon in a way as well, because Babylon the Great is Rome, the Roman Catholic Church, but she wrote a beast. You have to keep that in mind. She did write a beast, and that beast is the United States. That is her military war machine that the Vatican rides to do all the conquering around the world. So inadvertently, yes, the United States is Babylon as well. It is a twofold meaning, because Babylon the Great rides that beast, that power, and because the Vatican itself has no power. They have no military strength of their own outside of that, of the military powers that they are using to conquer the different nations around the world, including, again, Ukraine, and one of their latest targets that they have gone for. They're also wanting to take Russia down, as we see from the statements made by the former governor of Florida, Jeb Bush, who stated, when he was asked about Russia, what would he do? He says they should become part of the European Union. He says they're good people. He said it's just the rogue regime. Now, that's just totally a slap in the face to President Putin. And I, for one, I look at the honest side of all of this. I'm very much pro-American, but at the same time, I'm not the type person that believes that we should just go around and bully the entire world. President Putin in Russia and the Russian people, they have their way of life, and this is what they believe. And yet, what is the United States doing? Meddling into their business and keep pushing at them. Well, that Russian bear finally is going to get enough. But anyway, to bring out this point that I wanted to share with you, I was watching the video and they were talking about the king of the north being Russia, and I agree with that. Russia is the king of the north. Then they spoke about the king of the south. And one good point that was brought out in all this was that Barack Obama is actually from Kenya. And could it be that he is actually the king of the south? And of course, where is he king at? Not Kenya per se, but the United States. So it's a very interesting thought to think about. And if he is definitely considered the king of the south, well, he's the one that pushes at the king of the north. And the king of the north will destroy him in a battle that could very well happen while the king of the south is in office. So who could imagine whether or not this is actually the case, if this will be, or is it actually speaking of something else? I find it very interesting nonetheless. Okay, so let me take you to another